Next up, we're going to be adding point sources. It's basically the same process as we just went through creating the site boundary, but instead of creating a polygon, so a connected shape, we're going to be creating basically dots, which on QGIS are known as point sources. So if we go up to layer, create layer, new shapefile, layer again, make sure we've got the British National Grid selected. And instead of going to polygon on this drop down, we're going to go to point. And then we'll give this a name. We'll do access points. So say if you're creating a development site, we're going to be just plotting where the different entrances are. Access points, as you can see, make sure that's selected. Toggle the pencil. And then instead of a polygon, it will show as dots this time, as it is a point source. So add point feature, and then you can start basically just plotting on where you want them. A little tip, if you hold down your scroll on your mouse, you can sort of move about the map easily instead of having to make a save and then moving the map like that. So it's basically a grab if you put the scroll in on your mouse. So the first plot we'll put up here, as this is an existing road. We'll put it right on the site boundary, and we'll give that ID 1. And then we'll give another one a site access point here as 2. And I think that's all we'll do. Oh, no, there is another one up here. So for this one, we'll put it as 3. So now those are all in, we can click save. And then, as you can barely see them at the moment, we're going to change the symbols for each of those. So double click on access points, symbology, and you do have all of the sort of default symbols along here. For this one, we're going to do a triangle, but you can change the colors if you click on the different markers. So we're going to give this one, let's give it a nicer green. Don't really know why I'm changing it from green to green, but this is just an example. So there we can see them a bit more clearly. You can also adjust the size of it. So that is here. 4 is sort of the default size and probably the most common size to use. Now, you might want to be adding labels to each of these points. So to do this, we want to right-click on the layer, open attribute table. And this basically brings up, as it says, an attribute table of each of the different points. And if you click on each one, you'll notice that it does highlight it on the map. So we basically want to add labels to these, and to do this we need to add a new field, it's called. So we want to toggle the editing, and then along the top these different boxes will become available to be clicked, and we want to be clicking new field, so it's like the yellow sheet with a little asterisk. And then we'll call this label name. And we want it to be text, and you can select your length here. So we'll just put 25 in case it's going to be a long. So that's the number of characters maximum that it can be. As you notice, when you click add to that, it will add label name here, and it will always say null at the moment because we have put no data in these. However, we will change these names. So we'll call ID 1, which is this one here. We'll call that the Western entrance. And for number 2, which is the middle one here, we'll call that the Southern entrance. And number 3, which is the one at the top right, we will call that the Northern entrance. Once you have named all of these, you just want to click the toggle editing mode again, which will allow you to save the layer. And as you can see, they are all saved. Now that we have added that, we can actually turn the labels on. So to do this, you want to double click on your layer. And then there'll be a section on this page called labels. And you want to do single labels. And the value will be the one that we just made. So label name. And then along here, you can change different sort of fonts, size, all the different styles. I tend to usually add the draw text buffer. This basically makes a little white boundary around the text so it's easily readable, even when it's against black or against white, whatever. So that just makes it a lot easier to read, and we'll click OK. And there we go. We have got labels on all 3 of our points.